Tiger's golf swing. Now over the coming minutes I'm going to detail to you exactly the changes that Tiger has made to his golf swing over the last 6 years. Now on the left hand side that's Tiger in 2001. On the right hand side that's Tiger today, present day. Now if we look closely here at the overall setups, very little has really changed except for the fact that on the right hand side Tiger appears to be leaning a little bit more towards his left side. Now, if we watch the initial takeaway of both swings, we'll start with the one on the left here. Now, pay particular attention to the Nike sign on Tiger's baseball cap. Watch how it moves back behind the marker there. Okay, so we've had a sizable amount of head movement there towards his right foot. Now, let's have a look at Tiger in present day here. If we look at his initial movement, it's not as much as back in 2001. Now, at the same time, Tiger has that trademark takeaway where the body and the arms are working in one piece together, basically what's known as the one-piece takeaway. Now, if we continue on the swing here, the one thing that we'll notice about the top angle of the backswing here will be the difference in the arm heights. Now, what I mean by that is on the left-hand side of the screen, back in 2001, Tiger's swing would have been very upright. Now today Tiger has created a much more flatter swing. What I mean by that is that his right arm and his right hand and left hand are further behind his head, creating a flatter and more rounded swing. It's also the reason why his hands are nowhere near as high as what they used to be in 2001. But if we look carefully there, the interesting thing about the initial head movement was that if we go back to the halfway point here and here. Now if we look at it carefully, in 2001, Tiger had a lot more initial head movement, say in the first 3 or 4 feet, and then less, of course, today. But if we take both swings to the top of the backswing here, they're the exact same in terms of full head movement there and there. The only difference is on the right-hand side, Tiger kind of did it as a gradual movement throughout the entire backswing, where in 2001, Tiger more or less just got his weight onto his right foot first, kind of anchored his body there and then just got his shoulders to turn around that point. So an interesting thing. Now one of the things that Tiger seems to have done now over the last say 5-6 years now, and it's something that's kind of plagued him a little bit, is the head height when he comes down to hit the golf ball. Now if we look at 2001, let's have a look at Tiger as he goes to hit down on the ball here. Notice how the head level drops a little bit. Okay. Now, let's see Tiger in present day. Watch how much the head level drops here. Now you see that's been a real problem for Tiger for the simple reason that if your head level drops that much, what it does is it brings it closes the distance between the shoulders and the golf ball. The distance in between both points where the hands and arms have to chase to try and recover from that position. Now, if you're sitting beside any door, if you were to look at the actual hinges of the door, it would be very much like somebody moving the hinges of that door closer to the door frame. The door really wouldn't have any chance of closing properly without hitting the frame of the door. It's the very same thing here with Tiger's swing. If we look at him again there, you see the very second the shoulders drop in, the arms just don't have the room they need to catch up. And that's why this Tiger tends to block a lot of shots out to the right. Now, in my experience, I feel the Tiger looking at a swing in 2001, the dropping motion down from that level, it didn't really hurt him because if you're an upright swinger, it just means the club is coming down on a slightly steeper angle, which still really meant Tiger would still hit relatively a straight shot. So I'd say Tiger now has battled with trying to maintain his head height coming through the shot. Now, many great players have had to deal with this problem. One of the most powerful elements of power in a golf swing, you see, is to keep your head and shoulders behind the ball as you hit through the shot. Of course, the downfall of overdoing that is that the head level drops too much. If we look at Tiger hitting through the ball at this point here now. Well, the one thing that hasn't changed is, of course, the right foot movement and the midsection of his body. If we draw a circle around Tiger's his right foot on both here, if we look carefully, you'll see how much the right heel comes up. Now, that's really just a natural reaction to the lower half of the body moving. It's almost like an effect where the left hip is dragging the right foot up off the ground. Now, that's what we call the point of contact at this point here, but This position here is what we call the reverse C. Now the reverse C is a line that's drawn, say, from here, like that there now. Not the greatest reverse C drawing of my lifetime, but that will give you the feeling of what I'm talking about. The head basically being over your, say, tiger's right knee. It gives that reverse C image there. And that's where tiger creates an enormous amount of power from. If we look at tiger from a side angle here, this is actually a unique angle to look at a tour pro. It gives us a good sense of how much shoulder turn tiger creates in the backswing here now. But more important, it allows us to see the midsection of the body, like the left side here. Now you see, the left hip for tiger is really the powerhouse of his golf swing. That's really where he gets all the hit and power from. You see, you can see clearly there that the left hip is moving out of the way there. Now, the left hip, you see, has two functions. One is to turn the left side of the body out of the way and move the weight forward. And the second, of course, is what we call delaying the wrist action, or delayed hitting. Now, I'm going to show you a slightly different angle now to help you to understand that. Tiger at the top of the backswing. If we look at the left arm and the shaft angle, okay, that's what we call the L shape at the top of the swing. Now, if you look carefully, watch how the L shape is maintained in the downswing here now. If you look at his left arm there, and you'll see the shaft angle there, all the time being maintained. Now, what happens to the great majority of golfers, you see, is they get to the top of the swing and they actually hit from there with their hands and arms, which of course releases all the wrist action and cuts right across the ball. And that's hence why the massive majority of golfers hit the ball left to right in golf. But if you look closely here, look and see how the left arm and the shaft angle is being maintained. It's what we call delayed hitting. Now, what makes that possible, you see, is the left hip starting the downswing. Once the left hip moves, it's taking the temptation away from the arms and shoulders to release early. Affectionately, of course, been named as delayed hitting. So you can see the left arm there, and you can see the shaft angle all the way down. Now, at this point here, you see, Tiger has his left side cleared, which gives his arms all the freedom they need to release the wrist angle. But once again, you can still see that delayed action, even at this late stage in the downswing. There's our point of contact. Tiger's left arm perfectly straight. Head and shoulders over the right side exactly as they should be. Club face turns over. You get that reverse C angle that we spoke of. And then Tiger just simply turns around to the finish. If we look at the likes of, say, Ernie Els for a moment, I think Ernie gives us a great example of this motion. Now, if you look at his left pocket here at the top of the swing, watch how the left hip and left pocket move behind. You see that? All the greatest tour pros in the world have always had this movement, the left hip starting the downswing. The left hip starting the downswing. So at the top of the swing, you don't want to be thinking about moving your hands or wrists or hitting at the ball with your arms and wrists. It's all about getting the left side to hit the shot first.